5:03 now. Let's start with some news overnight into the LEX18 newsroom. Two people are having to find somewhere else to stay after a fire damaged their home in Madison County.
That fire broke out about 1:30 this morning at a townhome complex off US 25 in Berea. When crews arrived, they found flames shooting from the back of the townhome. We're told crews were able to quickly knock the fire down in the unit that was burning, but the entire complex was evacuated as a precaution. Officials are trying to determine a cause, but they say it looks like the fire started near the stove in the kitchen of one of the units. There is extensive damage to the kitchen and some smoke damage to the upstairs area. I want to let you know about a traffic alert today in Montgomery County.
That's right. A temporary closure is scheduled for today on Kentucky 599 in Jeffersonville. Transportation officials say the closure is necessary for cross drain repairs. The road will be closed between mile points 3 and 4 from 8 this morning until 4 this afternoon. Alternate routes include Pine Hill Spur and Pine Hill Road in Jeffersonville. 5:04
Election Day is on Tuesday and happening today. Congressman Steve Scalise will be in Woodford County to support Congressman Andy Barr. The Republican from Louisiana will be featured at a rally on Big Sink Road in Versailles this afternoon, starting at 5. Scalise famously survived being shot by a gunman who opened fire on a group of congressmen practicing for a baseball game last year in Virginia. Barr's rally comes after his Democratic challenger, Amy McGrath, held a rally of her own last night at the Lexington Convention Center.
This election is about the soul of our country. All right. It is about who we are as Kentuckians and as Americans.
McGrath telling the crowd that she's confident going into Election Day on Tuesday, but urged her supporters to show up and vote.
And speaking of Election Day, Secretary of State ALISON LUNDERGAN says there's a slightly higher number of absentee voters in Kentucky than the past midterm election back in 2014. 98 of Kentucky's 120 counties have an increase in absentee voters so far. There have been 2,000 military and overseas Kentuckians that have already cast their votes as well. And as far as voter turnout, LUNDERGAN says she is expecting about 46% of registered voters to show up to the polls. She also added Kentucky is one of 19 states dealing with the issue of names of registered voters being shared on the dark web.
Whether it be the placement of a sign, the placement of a voting machine, who's in the voting room, or how the ballot looked or didn't look to their satisfaction, or information, for instance, that they're receiving at their homes right now. We're getting a lot of folks that are giving us calls and concerns about mail pieces that they're receiving right now that have the appearance and effect of looking like a state government piece. There is no call that we don't want to hear, process, and take. Please reach out to us at the State Board of Elections.
Her office encourages you to call them at 1-800-328-VOTE if you receive any strange mail or if you see anything suspicious that might interfere with the election in any way.
5:06 now, new on Sunrise on this Friday morning. A former student is suing Kentucky State University, alleging the school did little to stop sexual harassment by the director of admissions. The former student alleges that Justin Mathis tried to get him to share a room with Mathis and sexually harassed him repeatedly, including making sexual comments. The lawsuit alleges the university did not thoroughly investigate Mathis's behavior, and the student eventually left the university as a result. K.S.U. has not yet responded to a request for comment.
We are learning more this morning about a Lawrenceburg man's alleged plan of attack to shoot up local schools. Yesterday in court, state police revealed they found a manifesto, and in it, Dylan Jarrell wrote that he wanted to be the next school shooter of 2018. State police also say Jarrell researched other school shootings and was ready to go. Trooper Josh Satterley, the one who started the investigation, told the judge that Jarrell wrote about other school shooters in great detail in his manifesto. Part of the alleged plan included the media. Satterley said Jarrell had contact information for all sorts of news stations, both national and local.
No typed out to the news outlets for when he carried out the attack.
All of the alleged plans, however, were stopped by police who say they found Jarrell pulling out of his driveway armed. The judge was split in her decision to move Jarrell's charges forward. One charge for terroristic threatening is going to the grand jury. Gerald remains in jail. His bond is set at $500,000. 5:08 now. It has been 3 years since a Lexington man was shot to death and found inside a burning car.
And today, one of the 3 people charged in that case is set to be sentenced in a Fayette County courtroom. LEX18's Tiffany Jackson has more now on what's happening today.
This sentencing has been delayed a few times. It was supposed to happen back in February, but today Christy Hanley will learn her fate. In September of 2016, Lexington police found the body of 24-year-old Trevor Dilger in a burned car off Red Road and Elkchester Road in rural Fayette County. Police say Jeremy Harris shot Dilger, then he, Justin Sloan, and Christy Hanley set the car on fire. Hanley was indicted for arson, abuse of a corpse, and evidence tampering in the case. The victim, Dilger, was a member of the Kentucky National Guard and a graduate of Dunbar High School. And Christy Hanley is expected to be sentenced at 1 this afternoon. Covering the news in Lexington from the LEX18 mobile newsroom. Back to you.
5:09 now. University of Kentucky leaders want to make sure Saturday's big game versus Georgia is safe, of course, for fans.
And today they're going to announce a plan to encourage people not to drink and drive. LEX18's Catherine Collins has this update now from campus.
University of Kentucky leaders are expected to make an announcement later this morning here at the Gatton Student Center. The goal is to ensure fans on Saturday are safe by offering $20,000 in discounts through the ride-sharing app Lyft. The school is partnering with the Kentucky Distillers Association, Keeneland, and others to make this happen. Between noon and 2 a.m. Saturday, a $20 discount will apply to rides to and from the game, plus several other locations around Lexington. It's all about preventing people from getting behind the wheel if they've been drinking. This announcement comes after a 4-year-old was killed while walking along the road during a football game earlier this season. Police suspected the driver was drinking that day. Covering the news in Lexington from the LEX18 mobile newsroom. Back to you.
5:10, covering your world now on Sunrise. Both sides of the political aisle are turning up the heat ahead of Tuesday's midterm election.
President Donald Trump is hammering on immigration for his base as Democrats hope to end the Republican majority in Washington. NBC's Blaine Alexander has more.
President Trump not on the ballot, but crisscrossing the country, making himself and immigration a central issue in the midterms.
These are not little angels. These are tough people, and we're not letting them into our country. They're not coming in illegally.
After sending thousands of troops to the border to block migrant caravans, the president announcing plans to sign an executive order that would deny asylum for immigrants unless they come to legal ports of entry. Meanwhile, tight races across the country are bringing out big names.
Hi, Oprah. How are you?
Oprah Winfrey knocking on doors in Georgia, hoping to help elect the nation's first black female governor, Stacey Abrams.
Nobody even asked me to come here. I paid for myself and I approved this message.
The Republican candidate, Brian Kemp, getting some help from Vice President Pence.
I got a message for all Stacey Abrams' liberal Hollywood friends. This ain't Hollywood. This is Georgia.
Experts say in this final stretch, there is still time to tip the scales.
We have right now is so much uncertainty because these races are so close.
Both sides digging in with 4 days to go. Blaine Alexander, NBC News, Washington.